Okay. Hello, welcome back. My name is Ricardo Montoya. I am your teacher, or probably not. This is, I'm just a teacher. This is extra content. So I think it's available for everyone, anyone. I hope it is helpful for you. Today we're going to be speaking about something called, well, we're going to be speaking about reading comprehension. But this is not just any reading comprehension. This is like the hard part, okay? This is level B1, B2, maybe even C1. This is the kind of questions you will get on a TOEFL examination or anything like that. It requires some concentration. It requires knowing the rules. If you haven't checked the rest of the videos, maybe you're gonna feel a little lost. If you know some grammar, is going to be helpful because we're going to be referring to objects. We're going to be referring to passive voice. We're going to be referring to a few things that we have spoken about before here in the channel. But maybe you're familiar with it. And, well, let's just try, okay? So we have some exercises, some examples. I have 10 plus an example. This is going to be, I guess, a little bit of a long video, but let's just try and do it, okay? So it says, in advanced readings, you will have to make inferences from the passages that you read. Sometimes you must use the information given to you in the passage to draw some conclusions about the topic. So we're gonna be practicing inferring, identifying inferences in statements. I think this is poorly written. Identifying inferences in statements, okay? So what is an inference? What is to infer? An inference is whenever you're reading, you have like the words in the sentence, and those words are stated. When you state something, it is clearly, you have all the words and you can read them and they are physically there. Inferred information is information that is not necessarily written there. You're not going to find it, like you're not going to be able to just like look at it. It's not physically written on the exercise, okay? It's just something that you need to understand the context, you need to understand the sentence, and then you can draw some conclusions. You can get to your own ideas. You can guess. Well, it's not really guessing. Inferring is not guessing, because guessing is something that you do when you don't really have any information. Inferring is when you have the information, it's just that it's probably not physically written on the piece of paper, okay? But it's something that you should get from the context. It's something that if you understand the full meaning of the sentence, it's something that you can infer, not guess, infer, okay? So it says, we have some exercises. We have the first one is an example. So this is going to be, I hope, a little bit helpful. It says, identifying inferences in statements. Circle the letters of those inferences that can be made from the information given in the statement. There may be more than one possible inference. Okay, so we have, I tried to do this exercise with a big font, with a big letter, and with a little bit of space, so I can just like draw around it, and you can check it. So we have this, this sentence. The sentence is this: the lesser North American poets are more popular with children than the major poets because they are direct and clear. This is a simple sentence. I mean, it's not really that long. The lesser North American poets are more popular with children than the major poets because they are direct, and clear. So we have two clauses and we have two subjects. The first subject, let me just remember where to do this. Okay. The lesser North American poets, this is the first subject, they are more popular with children than major poets because they, who is they? They is the lesser North American poets, okay? So this, because is our connector, we have two clauses. This is perfect. We have then two verbs. One verb is are, lesser North American poets are, and the other one is, again, are. So the lesser North American poets, they are two things. They are more popular with children than major poets, and they are direct and clear. These are the two things that this sentence is saying, okay? They are more popular than major poets. So we have another type of poets here. We have major poets. So we have two poets, the lesser North American poets and the major poets. One of them is more popular than the other one. The lesser North American poets are more popular with children than the major poets, okay? This is just what we know. We have two types of poets. One of them, well, some of them are more popular with children than the other. And the reason is that they are direct and clear. So what can we infer and what cannot, and what can't we infer? Let's check. It says, children, I think this is poorly written. Children have, I was missing a part here. I'm really sorry. Oh, sorry, this thing is, okay. So it says, children have difficulty understanding the major poets. Is this true or false? Is this something that we can infer? I think, yeah. I mean, the lesser North American poets are more. Okay. Just give me a second. Let me just check if everything is working. Because I got, I think the microphone stopped working for a second. Okay, I think everything's okay. I hope you can listen to me. So it says, children have difficulty understanding the major poets. I think this is true. I mean, in the sentence, they don't say that. It doesn't say that children have difficulty understanding the major poets, but it says that the lesser North American poets are more popular with children. And the reason is that they are direct and clear. So we can say, or we can imagine, that children have difficulty understanding the major poets. This is the reason that the lesser North American poets are more popular with children, yeah, because they are direct and clear. The major poets, they are not as popular, so I guess that we can say that they may have more difficulty understanding the major poets. It says, B, minor poets write poetry for children. It says, the minor poets, or the lesser poets, minor, lesser is just the opposite of the major or the big ones, okay? Minor poets, they write poetry for children. Well, they are more popular with children, but that doesn't mean that these poems are made for children. It's just that they are direct and clear and children like them more, but they are not necessarily made for children. So I don't think we can say this. C, there are fewer poets writing for children than writing for adults. I mean, there are fewer poets. It says that there are fewer poets, like lesser in a number, but when they say lesser North American poets, it's just an adjective contrary to major poets. You have the lesser poets and the major poets. It doesn't mean fewer. Fewer will mean a minor number, yes, like fewer than. But this is not what you're trying to say. You're saying that there are, if you say that there are fewer poets, it means just there are 100 poets writing for children and 1,000 for adults. And it doesn't say this, okay? In this case, we are not really speaking about the number of poets. It's just like an adjective to describe the type of poets, not the number of them, okay? So, indirect and hidden meanings are used in poetry of major poets. So the major poets, they are using hidden meanings and indirect meanings. It says that lesser, the opposite, the lesser North American poets, they are direct and clear. So we guess that the major poets, they are the opposite of direct and clear. They have hidden messages, hidden meanings, and they have indirect meanings. So we can infer that children have difficulty understanding the major poets, and we can infer that indirect and hidden meanings are used in the poetry of major poets. We cannot infer this too. Let's check whether this is correct or not. Let me just get rid of all of this, because we're gonna move on and all these lines are not going to move with us. It says, you should circle A. We were correct, A. It can be inferred that the poetry of major poets is difficult for children because unlike the minor poets, you have major and minor poets, okay? But they are different. Unlike the minor poets, it is not direct and clear, okay? So you can say that children have difficulty because reading major poets because they do not write directly and clearly, okay? You shouldn't circle B because it cannot be inferred whether other minor poets or major poets write for children. I mean, they are not saying that it is for children. They are saying that they are more popular with children, but it's not probably meant to be by or for children, okay? C, because lesser means minor poets, not fewer poets, you shouldn't circle it, okay? You never circle C because, again, lesser poets is the opposite to major poets. You're talking about status. You're not talking about quantity. So you don't really know how many are writing for children or not. And plus, you don't even know if the lesser poets are really writing for children, or maybe the major poets are writing for children. I don't know. They never speak about that. And D, you should circle D. This was correct. Because it can be inferred that the children like the lesser poets because they read more directly and clearly. The major poets use indirect ways of expressing ideas and hide meanings by using of symbols. Okay, so this was okay. This was correct. This is just a little example. Let's check. It's gonna get a little bit more complicated. I will try to explain everything to you. I hope that it works, and I hope that it works, that it helps you to study and to understand some of this is like very, very, very advanced English, okay? Don't feel bad if you are lacking vocabulary. The vocabulary that we're gonna be using is kind of difficult. Again, the only way to get this vocabulary is by using it. You need to keep reading these types of things. You need to keep listening to these types of conversations. You need to keep like trying to find a way to say more words, because honestly, there are easier ways to say this. We could reduce the vocabulary, but at a certain point, that is kind of dishonest because real English is not that limited. Okay, sometimes we do it because, I don't know, because we feel like we have to, but honestly, it's not really that important, okay? I mean, you shouldn't be afraid of discovering new words. Again, the only way is just to check them. So let's go with number 1. It says, the Institute of Anthropology plans to computerize data to help restore the North American Indian villages in Chaco Canyon. Okay, the Chaco Canyon. So let's just check again. What do we have? Subject, the Institute of Anthropology. Remember that you always have subject, auxiliary, verb, and complement. So the first part is always the subject. The Institute of Anthropology, and then you have a verb. The verb is plan. Yeah, the rest of this is the complement. The complement is to computerize. This is a verb complement. This is why this is in the infinitive form. To computerize data to help restore the North American Indian villages in the Chaco Canyon. Okay, so this is what we know. These people or this institution plans to do this. This is the thing that is planned. Computerizing data to help restore the North American Indian villages in Chaco Canyon. This is the thing. So what do we know? Can we infer A? It says the Chaco Canyon Indian villages were destroyed by European people. Well, the Institute plans to use this data or to computerize the data to restore the villages. Restoring, well, it means that it is in a bad condition, probably destroyed, but it doesn't say who destroyed it. So we cannot really confidently say that Europeans destroyed the villages. It's possible. I mean, they are not saying that it it didn't happen like that, but we cannot make that assumption. It says that they want to restore the North American Indian villages, but it doesn't say who destroyed them. So we cannot infer that. We need more information. The Institute of Anthropology collects information about American Indian villages that are in ruins. So the Institute of Anthropology, they plan to computerize data. So they have data. This institute, they have data and they want to computerize the data to help restore. You're restoring something that is in bad condition or probably destroyed. So the Institute of Anthropology collects information about Indian villages that are in ruins. This is probably true, okay? They collect this information and they plan to computerize this information to try and restore the villages. C, the North American Indians in Chaco Canyon have computers to help them store data. The North American Indians. North American Indian right here is an adjective for the villages. We are not speaking about any actual or real North American Indian person. Maybe there are not even people in those villages. We are speaking about villages. North American Indian is just the description of the type of villages that the Institute of Anthropology wants to restore, okay? So we are not speaking about North American Indians, yes? And they don't really have computers. The computer, computerize is a verb, but they are not speaking about computers. And the storing of the data is something that the Institute does, but they do it. The Institute has their computers and they have the data and they want to computerize the data in order to restore, with the purpose of restoring these villages. So this doesn't really make any sense. We never spoke about North American Indians and we never spoke about they doing anything. And storing the data, this is not the verb. We want to restore, we want to computerize, we are planning, but we don't store anything. This is not a part of anything. This doesn't make any sense. Computers can be helpful to restore archaeological plans. Well, I guess this makes sense. Yes, computers can be helpful. Well, they want to computerize the data to help to restore this. But there's a problem here. I notice a problem. There's a big problem. This will make sense, but the problem here is it says computers can be helpful to restore archaeological plans, and we have anthropological things. This is the Institute of Anthropology, not the Institute of Archaeology. So maybe computers can be helpful to restore archaeological plans, but the Institute, number one, here planning is the verb. This institute plans to computerize. And in this case, restore the plans. The plans is the noun. Restoring the plans is not the point of this. We don't want to restore the plans. We want to restore the villages. Planning is the verb. So, and plus they are speaking about archaeological and we are speaking about the Institute of Anthropology. So I'm not really sure that it is the same thing. So we cannot assume this, okay? So this can be inferred. The Institute of Anthropology collects information about American Indian villages is something that you can guess from here. It's not specified, it's not physically written here, but just taking into account this information from here to here, we can get to that conclusion, okay? Getting to that conclusion means that we can infer. Yeah, that is inferring. I hope it makes sense. I hope it's not too fast. If this is too fast for you, you have a couple of options. You can, first, I will try to have this with subtitles, even if they are auto-generated subtitles. They are not 100% accurate, but they help. And number two, maybe you can just go to options on YouTube and try to restore, go to the options and try to slow the video. You can slow it if I'm speaking too fast for you, or if I'm speaking too slowly, you can also make it go faster. Okay, you can just speed up the video. Let's continue. Number 2, we have 10, so this is going to be a little long. I'm sorry. You can just watch them in different moments. I recommend you watching them, especially if you're about to take the TOEFL exam, or you want to, you know, like take any kind of accreditation exam. This is very, very helpful. It says 3 of the published reports. Well, we have this sentence again. Let's check the sentence. Okay. The subject. 3 of the published reports. This is the subject. 3 of the published reports. And then the verb would be came. This verb is in the simple past. So this sentence is in the simple past. We do not have an auxiliary. Then the complement should be from official investigations. Yes? But this is a connector. So we have another clause with another subject. The other two published reports, I guess. Yes? And the verb is came. Again, this is in the simple past. And then we have more. Well, actually, the verb is not came. The verb is came from. Remember that when you have a preposition next to a verb, this is introducing the object. If you don't remember that, you can go to prepositions introducing objects. Is video 12, 11, 15, something like that. You can check it on the channel, I think, if you have any trouble with this. And then you have private individuals. Okay, so 3 of the published reports came from official investigations. This is finished. The other 2 came from private individuals. So we know that there were 3 reports that came from official investigations, and 2 more came from private individuals. That is what we know. So number 1, private individuals cannot submit report for publication. This is clearly false, because 3 of the published reports, the other 2 published reports, so 2 published reports came from private individuals. So private individuals can submit reports. They did submit reports, and 2 of them were published. So yeah. B, only the 3 official reports were considered for the publication. It says that 3 of them came from official investigation and 2 from private individuals. But it doesn't say that, I mean, the 5 of them were published. 3 of the published and the other 2 published. So the 5 of them were published, so no. Yeah, these private individuals, they were considered for publishing. So we cannot say this. 5 reports were published, yes. 3 from official investigations and 2 from private individuals. In total, we have 5 reports that were published, okay? The official investigations were made on private individuals. This doesn't make any sense. Official investigations is not the subject. No. It's the object. The published reports, they came from here, but these reports came from this source. But the official investigations, they didn't do anything. They are just the place or the people or the processes from where the reports come. Okay, so this is not even the subject. And in this case, they want to use it as the subject. They were made on private individuals. This is no. It doesn't make sense. Private individuals, they produced the other 2, but no one was investigating. They were not investigating him or them, and they were not investigating them. That doesn't make any sense, okay? You need to know who's doing what. They are going to try to confuse you with stuff like this. They are going to use public investigation, official investigations, and we have official investigation, private individuals, and we have private individuals, and it kind of seems as it will make a little sense, but they are speaking about completely different stuff, okay? It's not at all the same thing. So I hope it makes sense. Any questions that you may have, any doubts, any specific clarifications that you need, if you want just a video about one of these or something like that, you can let me know on the comments and we can go through them. I can just redo them with a little bit more of time there are 10 of them, and I just don't want to spend so much time. This is going to be like an hour long video, I fear. So let's move on, okay? Number 3, the need for a person to love and be loved is so pressing that when it is frustrated, the person will find a substitute, which can range from having a pet to collecting antiques. So what are we saying? Okay, the subject we have, this is a cleft sentence. We have multiple subjects. The need for a person to love and be loved. This is the subject. Okay, let me just, the need for a person to love and be loved. This is the thing that we're speaking about. The need that people feel to love and to feel loved. This thing is so pressing that, this is a connector, when it is frustrated, who is frustrated? It, the need for a person. When it is frustrated, the person will find a substitute, yeah? Then we have which can range, which will be another subject. It's a relative pronoun. If you don't remember this, again, you can go back to the relative clauses and the relative pronouns videos. These are like 45, 47, something around there. So you can check them. They can range from having a pet to collecting antiques. So we have four subjects, and that means that we have 4 verbs. The need for a person to love and be loved is so pressing in the present. When this need is frustrated in the present, the person will find. The auxiliary is will, this is in the future, and the verb is find. The person will find a substitute. The modal verb is can, and the verb is range, or will range from. Again, the verb contains the preposition. And remember that this have is with ing, so it's not really a verb, it's a verb complement. Again, you can check verb complements. If you haven't checked any of this, if this is the first video that you're watching, you're skipping way too much. You need to go back on the videos. I spoke about verb complements. I spoke about cleft sentences. I spoke about relative pronouns, modal verbs. All these things are important. If you do not understand them, you're skipping too many steps. Okay, so if you don't really know what it means or what I mean by using this, just go back a little bit, okay, and try to check them. I think they are well explained. Any questions, again, you can let me know. So then we have multiple. Well, let's just move on. Sorry. The auxiliary for this is the verb to be. It's in the simple present. You don't have an auxiliary. It's the same case. You don't have an auxiliary. The auxiliary is will. This is in the future. You don't have an auxiliary, but you have the modal verb can. Subject, auxiliary, verb, and then the complement. The complement is extra information. So then the need for a person to love and be loved is this. So pressing. It's very, very pressing. It applies pressure. This is a connector that. This is another connector when this need is frustrated. Yeah, actually, you know what? This is a little weird. This is actually the passive voice. In reality, the auxiliary is the verb to be, and the verb is in the past participle. When you have this, when you have the verb in the past participle and the verb to be before, this is the passive voice. This need to love and be loved is not doing anything. Someone is receiving the action, is receiving the action of being frustrated. When someone frustrates the need for a person to love and be loved, this person will find a substitute. Yes, so we have the thing that will be found is a substitute. And it can range, it can vary, it can move. It's not just one substitute. It can go from having a pet, this is one of the ends of the spectrum, maybe you can do this, to collecting antiques. This is another thing that you can do. It can range, okay? So this is just the sentence. The need for a person to love and be loved is so pressing, is so much pressure for people, that when this person has this feeling frustrated, they will find a substitute. If you don't find anybody to love you and to love, is common to find a substitute. And this substitute can vary. It can range. It can go from having a pet, maybe that's one of the substitutes, to collecting antiques. You have, this is like the spectrum. You have like multiple options there. So inference 1, animal owners are people who think that nobody likes them. Animal owners, like the people who have animal owners, they are, this will be the verb, sorry, I think I didn't change this. They are people that think that nobody likes them. Not really. It says that a person that thinks that nobody likes them, if you feel the need to love and be loved and you don't have it, and it is frustrated and you don't have it, you find a substitute, but it can vary from this to this. Having a pet is one possibility. Collecting antiques is another possibility. Another possibility is that you never do this. Okay, so you will find a substitute, but it doesn't necessarily say that you're gonna get a pet. So if you have an animal, that doesn't mean that you feel rejected or that your need to love and be loved is frustrated. So no, this is just this is a generalization, and they are not really saying that. B, a person who feels rejected may lavish an abnormal amount of affection upon a stray cat. What is lavish an abnormal amount of affection upon a stray cat? Okay, the person who feels rejected, this is the subject, a person who feels rejected may, probably, this is the modal verb, lavish, this is the verb. Lavish, to lavish is to direct. If you lavish an abnormal, not normal amount, quantity of affection, if you lavish an abnormal amount of affection, it means that you direct an abnormal and not normal amount or quantity of affection upon or towards a stray cat. The cat is the noun, stray is the adjective. A stray cat is a cat with no house. Like street cats or feral cats, cats that live outside of houses and they are not really that domesticated, they are called stray. Straying, it means like to get away from a person or from somewhere. Like if they used to have a family, but they just escaped or something, they are now stray cats. So a person who feels rejected probably will lavish, will show or will direct much affection to a street cat. I think it's possible. The important thing here is this, may. It doesn't say that it will. It doesn't guarantee that a person that feels rejected will just like show affections for animals. It says that they will find a substitute, and probably having a pet is one of these options. So probably if a person feels rejected, they will show a lot of affection towards a cat, towards a street cat. It's possible, yeah? To show your love for someone, you should give them a pet. You should give that person a pet. If you want to show your love for someone, this is not the subject. This is just an adverbial phrase. This is just like the, remember, in order to or to, it means in order to or to, it means purpose. So in order to show your love for someone, so with the intention of showing your love for someone, this is just the phrasal the adverbial expression. If this is your goal, if this is your purpose, you should give that person a pet. You should give them a pet. No, I mean, it doesn't say that. It says that people who don't feel loved or don't love anyone, maybe find a substitute, and probably they will have a cat, or maybe they will collect antiques. But it doesn't say that you have to give them animals to show your love. That's a different thing, a completely different thing. Collecting stamps, this is the subject. Remember, when you have a verb with ing, it's not really a verb, it's a verboid. Yes, again, if you don't remember that, just can go back on the videos. I think this is on the first like 3 or 4 videos when I speak about verbs acting like nouns. So collecting stamps, the action of collecting stamps, this is the subject. The modal verb is can. The verb is be, remember, always in the base form after a modal verb, a substitute for needed attention. So collecting stamps, you know, like the little like stickers that you use for the postal service to send cards. There are people who collect them because they come in I mean, they are not always the same, they change. So people collect stamps. Doing this, collecting stamps, can be a substitute for needed attention. I think this is possible. Because if you need attention, if you feel rejected, if you don't love and you are not loved, or you don't feel loved, one thing that you can do is substitute it for collecting and ticks. And collecting stamps is kind of like collecting and tips. This is just one of the possibilities. Again, this is a range. Maybe you have a pet, maybe you collect stuff, maybe you get attached to something else. I mean, these are just possibilities, okay? So in this case, we can infer that a person who feels rejected, they may show a lot of affection towards a cat, a stray cat. And we can also imagine or guess or infer that collecting stamps can be, again, it says can, it says might, it's possibly, it's possible, sorry. It doesn't mean that this is just a fact. It doesn't say this is a substitute, not necessarily, yeah? You never say this for sure. It's just like a possibility. They are telling you they can range, there is a possibility they can, and that's it, okay? I hope it makes sense. I'm really sorry if you're feeling going too fast or you have any questions. That's the problem of working like this. But again, we have the comments, we have the groups, we have everything like that. So you can just like send me an email, send me a message. I'll try to respond to anything you want. And if you want to, if you want me to pay more to focus, to pay more attention to just one of this, we can just like do an extra video, just super explaining just one of these sentences, okay? So we have another one. Some scientists, okay, we have a subject. Some scientists believe that African bees, which have devastated, which, this is a relative pronoun, this means the bees, they believe that African bees, these bees have devastated the Latin American beekeeping industry, will become, well, the African bees, the same African bees will become, sorry, is the same subject, the African bees will become gentler as African bees and European bees interbred with the previously introduced European varieties. Okay, so this is pretty much what it says. So some scientists believe. We have multiple verbs. We have the verb believe. This is in the simple present. This is an affirmative statement. We don't have an auxiliary. They have devastated. This is the auxiliary for the present perfect, and this is the verb in the past participle. An important thing that you need to understand in this case is that which, remember, which is a pronoun, relative pronoun that you use when you're making a comment. This is not important. They have devastated the Latin American beekeeping industry. So all of this is just a comment. You can erase it or you can keep it. Nothing really happens. This is just a comment. Some scientists believe that African bees will become, yes? So in that case, these African bees, the object of the first sentence, the object or the what is the name? The complement of the first sentence becomes the subject of the second sentence. The second sentence says will become. We have another verb. We have another verb. The verb is become. They will become gentler as African and European bees interbred. This is another verb, interbreed. Sorry, this is in the simple present. So you don't really have an auxiliary with the previously introduced European varieties. So we have a few auxiliaries. We have is the auxiliary for present perfect. They have devastated the Latin America beekeeping industry. And we have will. The African bees will become gentler as they interbreed with the previously introduced European varieties. So this is like a little, this is a complex sentence. Let's check it. Some scientists believe something. This is idea number one. Scientists believe something. They believe something about African bees. This one here, from here to here, is optional. It's just a comment. By the way, these African bees have devastated the Latin American beekeeping industry. They have devastated, they have destroyed the beekeeping industry. What is the beekeeping industry? Well, beekeeping is an activity, an economical activity. Beekeeping, it refers to people who have bees. Yeah, if you have bees in your backyard and you feed them and you give them sugary water and you go out and you extract the honey, you are a beekeeper. Yeah, and beekeeping is an industry. All the people who dedicate themselves to doing that, to extracting honey from having bees, they are beekeepers, and that industry is called the beekeeping industry. So the Latin America beekeeping industry, from Mexico down way all the way to South America, the Latin American beekeeping industry has been devastated. It has been almost destroyed. Why? Because of African bees. Yes, but some scientists believe that these African bees will become gentler, will get to be more gentle, yeah, less destructive. Yeah, when? As the African bees and the European bees interbreed. What is interbreeding? This is a weird verb. Interbreeding. We have the word breed. A breed is a variety of an animal or a type of an animal. For example, when we have dogs, we have multiple breeds. You have like a German Shepherd and a Chihuahua. They are the same animal. They are capable of having offspring or reproducing. You can reproduce them, yeah? But they are not the same breed. They are the same species. They are the same kind. They are the same family, but they are not the same breed. A breed is a variety of the same animal, okay? You have like Angora cats and you have Egyptian cats. Both of them are cats and they are capable of reproducing. They have the same DNA and everything, but they are different. They are not different species. They are different breeds. A breed, again, is a variety of an animal of the same species, okay? Interbreeding, it means when you have like two different breeds of the same animal and you reproduce them. Some people, they are called like dog breeders. A dog breeder is a person that makes new breeds. Yeah, maybe you want a big dog, but you want it to be calm and you want it to be very, very furry, very hairy. So you take this big and calm dog with this other more normal dog, and you make a mixture, mixing them. That is interbreeding. To breed is like, again, to reproduce animals. One breed, as a noun, a breed is a variety of animals. As a verb, breeding, it means reproducing them. And interbreeding, it means reproducing them with different breeds. So you're making mixtures. You're making like kind of like Frankensteins, but they are the same species. So when African bees and European bees, they are both the same type of animal. African bees and European bees, they are both bees. And when they interbreed, when they reproduce with each other, when they get together with each other, they will become more gentler. They will become more gentler when they mix with the previously introduced European varieties. So we have previously introduced European varieties. Okay, so let's check. This sentence is a mouthful. It's kind of, it has a lot of different things. European bees will not be advantageous to the Latin America beekeeping industry. So European bees, it will be the subject, the auxiliary is will, or well, the auxiliary takes the negative, so will not, and the verb is always in the base form. They will not be advantageous. What is advantageous? That give advantages, that they are beneficial, okay? So it says European bees will not be beneficial to the Latin American beekeeping industry. This is false. They are going to be beneficial. Why? Because these European varieties will interbreed. They will mix with African bees. And when they mix, these African bees, they will become gentler. Okay? So that's it. So they are useful, they are advantageous for the Latin American beekeeping industry. They are not useless. Yeah? B, African bees are ferocious and destructive. Again, in the text, that it doesn't say that, but it says that these African bees devastated the Latin American beekeeping industry. If they devastated or destroyed the beekeeping industry, I guess we can make the inference that they are destructive and they are ferocious. They are devastating. They devastated the industry. The Latin American beekeeping industry will become gentler as the African bees and European bees interbreed. This doesn't make any sense. The Latin American beekeeping industry is the thing that was devastated. What was devastated? The Latin American beekeeping industry. But the Latin American beekeeping industry is not the doer of anything. It's the receiver of being devastated. Here it says that it will be the doer of becoming gentler. No, no, no. Who is going to become gentler? Who is going to become gentler? The African bees will become gentler. The African bees, when they mix with the European varieties, will become gentler. That's what some scientists think. Okay? So this doesn't make any sense. The Latin American beekeeping industry is not the subject of anything. And the subject of becoming gentler is actually the African bees. They are the subject. They are the ones who become gentler. Okay? D, African bees as well as European bees live in Latin America. I think this is true. African bees devastated Latin America. So that means that they are in Latin America. They live here and they devastated the beekeeping industry. And it says, when they interbreed with the previously introduced. What is the meaning of previously introduced? So previously, before this devastation, the European varieties were already introduced. Introduced where? To Latin America. So both African bees and European bees, both live in Latin America. And when they meet, when they get together, and when they interbreed, is when African bees will become more gentle. That's at least what some scientists believe. Is this okay? These are the two things that we can infer. Inferring, it means we are not guessing, we are sure. It doesn't say this here, but it infers it. From reading these sentences, well, yeah, all of this left sentence, from reading this, we can know that African bees are ferocious and destructive, and that both African bees and European bees both live in Latin America right now. That's it. So these are inferences. This is really, really, really important. Okay? Okay, so let's move on. Number 5, no partner helps the male pheasant-tailed jacana. No partner helps the male pheasant-tailed jacana protect and nurture his chicks in his floating nest. Okay, this is kind of weird. So no partner. This is the subject. The subject is no partner. No one. Nobody. Okay? Nobody, and the verb is helps. Yeah? The complement is the rest of this. This is in the simple present, so you have help with an S, no partner. This is the third person of the singular. Helps this animal to protect and nurture his chicks in the floating nest. What is the meaning of all of this? This can be a bit confusing. Okay. No partner helps, no one helps the male pheasant-tailed jacana. Male is an adjective. Pheasant-tailed is another adjective. And we are speaking about the noun is the jacana. No partner helps the jacana, or the male or a masculine jacana. Pheasant-tailed doesn't really matter. It's just like a description of the thing. We know that no partner helps the male jacana. Okay? What is a male jacana? I don't know, but no one helps the male jacana to protect. Helps to protect. Remember that in this case, protect is to protect. It's an infinitive. It's a verb complement. The real verb is help. Remember that help had an asterisk when we were checking verb complements. With help, you can use the verb complement without the to. So this is a verb complement. No partner helps this male jacana protect and nurture. Nurture is another verb complement. So protecting and nurture are two activities. And the male jacana protects and nurtures alone. No partner helps the male jacana to do these two things, to protect and to nurture. What is protecting? Well, you know what protecting is. What do you think is nurturing? Nurturing is very similar. I mean, nurturing is to take care of someone or someone small, like a little baby. If you nurture a baby, it means that you help the baby survive. If you feed them, if you take care of them, if you like all the things that you need to do. If you leave a baby alone, it's going to die. Yeah, you need somebody to nurture them and to protect them. Protect is just like fighting or just, you know, but nurturing is just all the other stuff, like giving food and cleaning them up and helping them just like be safe and all of that is nurturing. His cheeks. His is a possessive adjective. These chicks, they belong to the male jacana. And the chicks, what is a chick? A chick is a baby bird. If you have a chicken, the chicks are the baby birds when they are very little. The ones that they sometimes sell in fairs and stuff like that, they are chicks. If you have a dog and you have a puppy, yeah, the puppy is the little dog. You have a cat and you have a kitten. A kitten is like the little cat. You have a bird and you have a chick. The chick is the baby bird. So no partner helps the male jacana protect and nurture his chicks in his floating nest. They have a floating nest. Yeah, they live in a floating nest. It floats, I guess, in the water. I don't think they float in the air. The chicks are there in the floating nest. And no one helps the male jacana. The male jacana, the male fish and tail jacana, is just the variety of the animal. I'm not really sure. I will try, I will just stick an image right here of a male jacana or a fish and tail male jacana so that you can check them. But I mean, it's just the name of the animal, okay? So, A, the female fish and tail jacana doesn't take care of her babies. Exactly. It says the male fish and tail jacana protects and nurtures the chicks, and no one helps them. If no one helps the male jacana, it means that the female fish and tail jacana doesn't take care of their babies. They just have the babies, or just like lay the eggs, and they disappear. They lay the eggs, and they don't do anything else. The jacana is an aquatic bird. I guess that makes sense. We know that they have chicks, so they are birds. And we know that they have a floating nest. If this is floating, I guess it's floating in water. So I guess this is an aquatic bird. The male fish and tail jacana doesn't help to protect and nurture its partner. I don't know. They protect and nurture the chicks. We don't know if they protect and nurture the partner. We know that the partner doesn't help, but we don't know if the male protects and nurtures the partner. I think it doesn't. The male fish and tail jacana doesn't mate. What is mating? Mate is a verb. You have subject, you have auxiliary with negative. This has to be a verb. Mating is like reproducing, but it's usually used for animals. Yeah, the act of mating is the act of reproducing. Yes, when you have like two animals and you want to make more, you make they mate. Maybe when they are mating is that they are just like reproducing. They are having sex pretty much. So the male fish and tail jacana doesn't have sex. That is false. I mean, if the male jacana didn't mate, it wouldn't have chicks. It wouldn't have babies, but they have babies. So that means that they mate. Okay. So it doesn't say this in the sentences, but we can assume, we can infer that the female fish and tail jacana doesn't take care of their babies. And we can also infer that the jacana is an aquatic bird. It doesn't say the jacana, an aquatic bird. It doesn't say that, but they say that they live in floating nests. So this is something that we can guess. It doesn't say that the female fish and tail jacana doesn't, exactly it says this. It says that they don't take care. It says no partner helps, so only the male take care. So We know that, okay? It's another way of saying the same thing. Number 6, from the start of training of a race, from the start of training to the finish of a race, the attention that endurance race contestants give their horses to ensure they're being on top condition for competing is more that these riders give to themselves. Okay, this is another long and confusing sentence. So let's check. Who is the subject? From the start of training to the finish of a race, comma. This is not the subject. If you have something and then a comma, this is possibly just an adverbial phrase. This is telling you when or how or why. In reality, this is just telling you when. This is telling you, this is telling you when. From the start of training to the finish of a race, in this space of time. From the training, from the start of training, it begins, to the finish of a race, it ends. This is just the when. This is just an adverbial phrase. It's not the sentence or the main part of the sentence. Then we have the subject. The attention that endurance race contestants, what were we talking about? Who is the subject of this action? The attention that endurance race contestants, yeah? This attention that they give to their horses. So we are speaking about the attention that these people give to their horses, yeah? The attention, and then we have this, I need to find it too. This is it. The attention that endurance race contestants, the noun is contestants. They are the people that give attention. The contestants are the people that participate in a contest. If you participate in a contest, in an event, you're a contestant, a contender, okay? So they are not just contestants, they are race contestants. What is a race? A race is a competition of speed. Normally, you have a race, both people run, and the one who gets to some point first is the winner of a race. You have like car racing, bicycle racing, people racing, dog racing, horse racing. You can race pretty much anything. But this is not just a race, this is an endurance race. So endurance is describing the race. What is an endurance race is describing the contestants. What is endurance? Well, when you have races, you have two types of races. You have speed races and endurance races. A speed race is just a very quick event. It's just very explosive, like 100 meters, and then you just run, and in 10 seconds, it is over. It is just the fastest, the most explosive. Endurance, it means, well, it doesn't test your velocity or your speed. It tests your resistance. Like if you run 50 kilometers, it's not about being the fastest. It's being about the most resistant. Maybe the person that wins is not the person that is winning from the beginning. Like the person that starts running the fastest is probably going to just like quit at the middle of the event. Is not going to finish. They need to just like try and keep the rhythm. They are not, those races, they are not about the speed. I mean, the one who gets first wins, but it's not about speed, it's about resistance. Okay, the winner is going to be the most resistant participant. So the attention that endurance race contestants, so you have these type of contestants, they race on endurance races. The attention that they give, we have the verb. The verb is give. And who is the receiver? Who is receiving the giving? Their horses, to ensure they're being on top condition for competing. So the attention that they give their horses, again, this is a verb complement, to ensure, to make sure, to be completely 100% sure they're being in top condition, to being sure that the horses are in top condition for competing. And well, this is another subject. The object or the complement of the first sentence, they being in the top condition for competing, is the subject of the verb to be. Is more than these riders give to themselves. You have another subject, these riders, yeah, and you have another verb, give to. And then you have another complement, themselves. Remember that this is a reflexive pronoun. You're using the reflexive pronoun when the doer of the action is the same as the receiver of the action. These riders give the attention and these riders receive the attention. So again, the attention that endurance race contestants, this type of contestants, the attention that they give to their horses to make sure that they are in top condition, this being in top condition, is more important, is more attention than the attention that the riders give to themselves. These riders, they don't really take care of themselves as much as they take care of the horses. So what do we have here? Let's check. To a contestant, the good condition of the horse is more important in winning an endurance race than the condition of the rider. I think yes. Yes? The contestants, they give more attention to the horses than they give to themselves. Why? Because they think, maybe they know, that the good condition of the horse being in top condition for competing, is more important, or they need more attention. They need to make sure that the horse is better than they need to make sure that they are well. So the good condition of the horse is more important than the condition of the rider, okay? Well, I'll try not to move this. I'm sorry. So it says, let me just get rid of that. Okay. It says B, the riders in an endurance race like their horses better than they like themselves. These riders, they like the horses more than themselves. It's like I prefer the horse than myself. I don't like myself as much as I like the horse. No. It says that they give them more attention, but only from the start of training to the finish of a race. So it's not like forever, yeah? And it doesn't say, I mean, maybe they do it because they like the horse more, but maybe they do it because they want to win. It doesn't say anything about the reason, okay? So they are not saying why. Well, we can guess that they do it because they want to win, because it is important. It is more important that the horse is in good conditions. But it doesn't say that they like them more. Probably, but that's something we cannot assume. In order to win with the purpose of winning, the horses don't give themselves as much attention as the riders give to themselves. This doesn't make sense. The horses, in this case, the horses are the receiver of the action. The horses receive attention. The horses don't give attention. No. The horses are never the doer. They never give attention. They never not give attention. So this is just not true. Okay. Let me just get down a little bit. It's going to move everything, but okay, let me just erase the rest of it so it makes sense. After a race, endurance race contestants give themselves more attention than they give their horses. So when the race is finished, they stop giving that much attention to the horse and they give more attention to themselves. Probably, I think so. Yeah, it says from the beginning of training to the end of a race, or to the finish of a race. So to a contestant, the good condition of the horse is more important than their own condition. And after the race, probably, I mean, this is just a maybe, they probably give themselves more attention. It depends on the rider. Maybe there are some riders that just care about their animal, and that's the only thing they care about. But okay, I guess it makes sense to infer that. Okay. We have this. Elephants. Again, I'm sorry if I'm moving too fast between them. You can pause them. You can slow the video down. I hope it makes sense. If you can just like watch it in different viewings. You don't have to watch the whole thing in a sitting. You can watch them. You can watch it and then tomorrow watch the next part and continue going. Okay. So elephants. This is the subject. If you, I'm not really sure if you notice this. but they are slowly becoming, this is like, well, this is like the auxiliary are, the verb to be, and this is an adverb, so it doesn't really change anything. This is the passive voice. They are becoming trapped. This is in the past participle. Elephants are slowly becoming trapped. I mean, elephants are not trapping anything. Elephants are being trapped. They are becoming or being or getting trapped. So some people are trapping them slowly, not fast, slowly, like in a very slow way. So elephants are becoming trapped in isolated, well, then we have the complement, in isolated forest enclaves, completely surrounded by land, cleared for agriculture. So they are becoming trapped, sorry. They are not trapping anything, they are becoming trapped. Where are they becoming trapped? In isolated forest enclaves. Isolated, it means with no connection. So they are isolated. When you are isolated, you don't have contact with anything else. So let's say this. I'm going to just draw a little drawing. So this is the forest. And the elephants live here. Yes? It says that they are becoming trapped in enclaves. An enclave is an area. So this forest area is a forest enclave. They are completely surrounded, so everything around them is land that was cleared for agriculture. So they have like farms around all the area. So you have farms, and you have more farms, and you have like sugar farms and corn farms and whatever you want. But the elephants are becoming trapped. This forest, let's just change the color. So this is the forest. Yeah. And they are becoming trapped in isolated, unconnected enclaves, completely surrounded by clear land for agriculture. This land around, the yellow land, this land here is made for agriculture. So the elephants are becoming trapped slowly because people are destroying the rest of the forest and using it, clearing it. To clear the forest, it means just to get rid of the trees, get rid of everything. You just like clean the terrain or the land in order to get like a flat space so you can farm, so you can do agriculture. So what does it say? Hunters are trapping elephants in isolated forest enclaves to get their ivory tusks. What is an ivory tusk? To get their ivory tusks. So the hunters are trapping them, and this is the reason. To get, yeah, there, this is a possessive adjective. There, it means the elephants. Like the tusks belong to the elephants. What are the tusks? And what is ivory? Ivory is an adjective and is describing the tusks. The tusks are, they are a possession of the elephants. People, we have teeth. Our teeth are just like teeth, right? Animals, they have fangs. Like a dog, like the long teeth that they have, that they are like very scary and they are meant to kill animals. Those are fangs. Elephants and other animals, they don't have teeth and they don't have fangs. They have tusks. The tusks, I mean, they also have teeth inside their mouths, but the tusks are the really long teeth. They don't use it to eat or anything. They use it to defend themselves or to attack. Yeah, like the big long pieces of something like bone, right? They are not teeth and they are not fangs. They are tusks. Elephants have tusks. Some kind of wild pigs, they have tusks. And some kind of sea lions or sea elephants or something, they have tusks. Those are tusks. Ivory is the material of the tusks. Normal teeth, they are made of calcium and I don't know, there's a name of the thing, but it's not really that valuable. Elephants and other animals, they don't, well, their teeth, well, their teeth is just like normal teeth, but their tusks, they are not made of normal bone. They are made of something called ivory. Ivory is like a precious metal. Some people use it to make furniture, to carve and do some stuff. So some hunters, the reason that they hunt elephants is just to get their tusks. They want their tusks because the material is very expensive and they can sell the ivory at a very high price. So hunters are trapping elephants in isolated forest enclaves to get their ivory tusks. Well, no. They are slowly becoming trapped, surrounded by land cleared for agriculture. So I guess the people who are trapping them are the agricultors, not the hunters. Maybe the hunters take advantage of this. Maybe they just use the opportunity to kill them. But it doesn't mean that the hunters are doing this. The farmers are doing this, okay? People are destroying the elephant's habitat to make farms. This is true. So you had a big forest and everything was cleared to make farms. So now this forest enclave, this forest area is isolated, okay? Elephants will have to cross through farmland to migrate to different forests. If you have a different forest here, these elephants, they will have to go through the farmland. So yes, that's true. If they want to cross to a different forest, they have to cross through farmland. People are trapping elephants to use them for clearing land for agriculture. They are trapping them, but I don't think it's intentional. And it doesn't say anything about them using them to clear the land. It says that they are clearing the land for agriculture, but it doesn't say that they are using the elephants to do that. So this is not something that we can infer. Does it make sense? Again, in the sentence, it doesn't say anything about people destroying the habitat, but it's something that we can infer. If they are surrounding the forest enclaves with farmlands, we can assume that they are destroying the rest of the forest. Elephants will have to cross through farmlands to migrate. Yeah, if they are isolated in the middle, surrounded by farmlands, the only way to get to a different forest is to go through the farmland. They are trapped, so they need to go through the farmland. Okay? I hope this wasn't as difficult. We're about to finish. We have like 3 more. To safeguard sunken ships from adventurers or thieves, ship salvagers keep the wrecks under constant surveillance by electronic and other means. So again, what do we have? We have, we start with an adverbial phrase. To safeguard sunken ships from adventurers and thieves. In this case, we don't really have a verb or anything or a subject. This is just like an adverbial phrase. What it means is that, remember, to is in order to. So with the purpose of safeguarding, to safeguard, this is the verb. This is a verb. In order to do this, in order to guard or to safeguard or to protect these things, these are the things that are protected, and they are protected from these people. We have 3 things. The action is protecting. The receiver of the action, the thing that is protected, is the sunken ships. And the threat, the menace, the people that they need to protect them from is adventurers or thieves. Adventurers or thieves, they are the menace, they are the threat. They are the ones that you want to keep away. In order to safeguard sunken ships. What is a sunken ship? A ship, you know, is like a little boat. Well, it's not like a little boat, it's like a big boat. They are normally in the water, you know? You have a boat in the water. A sunken boat, maybe it had an accident like the Titanic or something, and the boat goes to the bottom of the ocean. This boat is a floating boat. A floating ship. A boat is smaller. A ship is like a larger thing. And this one in the bottom of the ocean is a sunken ship. A floating ship, a sunken ship. So to safeguard, to protect, in order to protect this sunken ship from adventurers or thieves, The adventurers and the thieves, they want to get there. Yeah. So the adventurers, because they just want to check them, they want to see what is there. Thieves, well, they want to steal stuff. Maybe they know that the ship sank, and they are looking for it to just see what is there, and maybe just take it and keep it. So to safeguard sunken ships from adventurers and thieves, this is just an adverbial phrase. The subject in reality is this. Ship salvagers, this is the name of the people. Ship salvagers, this is the subject. They keep the verb, sorry, it's in blue. They keep, what is keeping? Maintaining. What are they keeping? They are keeping the wrecks. What is a wreck? A wreck is a place of an accident. If you go on the street, on the highway, and you see like pieces of a car that was pretty much destroyed, and you know that a car crashed, that is a wreck. A wreck is like the place where an accident happened. Yeah, you go there and you see like a lot of pieces, parts and stuff, like, you know, like hints of an explosion or an accident or anything like that. That is a wreck. Yeah. So they keep the wreck, this part, this is the wreck. Yeah, the place of the accident. These ship salvagers keep the wreck under constant surveillance. What is surveillance? A surveillance camera is a camera that you install outside of your house or your business or whatever. And it's not just to take pictures. It's not to take like good video. It's just to, it is for security. It's just to check everybody passing. And if something happens, you have like a video of the person doing something. If somebody enters into your house, if somebody steals your things, the surveillance camera or the security camera is surveilling. Surveilling, it means like, you know, to protect, to just like to patrol. If you're surveilling something, you're like taking care of it, okay? So these ship salvagers, they keep the wreck, they keep these parts under constant surveillance by electronic and other means. How do they keep it under surveillance? By electronic means, maybe with like cameras or stuff, I don't know, like drones or something, and other means. What are other means? I don't know, like just physical presence. Maybe they are just physically there on a ship. I don't know, but they have like multiple different means. Maybe they have like barbed wire or something around them. I'm not really sure. So they don't really say exactly what they do. But thieves sunk the ship to steal the cargo. The cargo is, well, the things that the ship contains. If the ship has a lot of cars, the cars are the cargo. If the ship is moving, I don't know, oil or petrol, well, that is the cargo of the ship. Thieves sank the ships. It doesn't say that. It says that you need to safeguard sunken ships. It sank, but it doesn't say why. Maybe the thieves, they didn't sink the ship, but they noticed that the ship is there and they try to take advantage and try to steal from it. It doesn't mean that they sunk it. Sunken ships contain things that are valuable. I think it makes sense. I mean, if you're a thief and you want to steal the things inside of sunken ships, I guess that you imagine that these things are valuable. Ship salvagers are usually caught before they steal anything because of safeguards. Safeguards is the verb. This is the action, safeguarding. So safeguards are not a noun. Safeguards, I mean, we are not speaking about safeguards. We are speaking about ship salvagers. And what do? Ship salvagers are the people that keep the wreck under vigilance. Yes, so the ship salvagers are the people that protect the boat, not the people that steal from the boat. The person stealing, the threat, is adventurers and thieves. So this is false, okay? There are various ways to guard sunken ships from pilferers. What is a pilferer? A pilferer is a person, not necessarily a thief. A pilferer is a person that takes advantage of a situation. For example, there is like a social riot, a social, I don't know, protest or something. And then people start breaking glasses and windows from stores and everything. And some people take advantage and they go in the stores and steal things. They are not called thieves. They are called pilferers. It will be something like saquear or saqueador, pilferers. So there are various ways to guard them. Yeah, it says that they guard them by electronic and other means. So we have one mean and another mean. At least you have 2 or 3. I'm not really sure, they are not explaining which are these means, but they say that they are more than one. So there are various ways to do it. Make sense? So now you know what a ship salvager is. It's like a job. Yeah, you can be a ship salvager. Companies hire you to protect their sunken ships and try to recover all the things from it. If you have like a company that moves a lot of things through ships and boats, maybe you know that sometimes they are going to sink and you need a company or people to protect them, okay? And we are about to finish. Number 9, a species of weed. Weed is hierba, any kind of weed. Weed is like these kinds of plants that you don't really take care of. Like you're walking on the street and maybe on the sidewalk, there's a plant coming up, growing up. That is a weed. Maybe you have like your garden with your roses and your daisies and your flowers and everything, and then some weed starts growing and you need to remove the weed. The weed is just like this like unwanted plant that doesn't require much care. You don't really do anything and they are there all the time. So you need to just like remove them, okay? So a species of weed known as the gopher plant, has earned a new name. Remember, earning is like winning, but when you deserve it. You don't win your money. When you work, you don't win your money. Winning is like in a contest or in the lottery or something. If you play the lottery, you can win money. If you work, you are not winning money because it's not because of luck. You are earning money. To earn something, it means that you make something in exchange of that. Sorry, earning, it means that, yeah, it's not for free. So this gopher plant earned a new name, the gasoline plant. Now people are starting to call it not the gopher plant, but the gasoline plant, because it yields a milky latex. What is yield? Yield is like producing, but producing is for factories. People produce stuff. If you go to a car factory, they produce cars. Plants, they don't produce food, they yield food. It's like a natural process, yes? If you water your plant, if you water your apple tree and you make sure everything's okay and you take care of it, or maybe you don't. The tree is just like taking care of itself. It's just like absorbing energy from the sun and nutrients from the soil, and eventually it will yield apples. It doesn't produce apples, it yields apples. Producing is like a man-made thing. It's something that we do consciously. Yielding is above everything for plants and agriculture. Yeah, how many tomatoes did you yield this season? Yielding, not producing. Yielding is just the ones that you picked up. I had like an acre of land and I produced 3 tons of tomatoes. Okay, that's the thing that I did. So this plant yields a milky latex containing hydrocarbons. Milky latex containing hydrocarbons that can be refined and into substitutes for crude oil and gasoline. So, again, let's check. The subject is, sorry. Sorry, I have my dog here. Hey, sorry. A species of weed known as the gopher plant. This is the subject, the gopher plant, okay? The auxiliary is has. This is the present perfect. The verb is in the past participle because the perfect forms always go into the past participle. And a new name is the complement. It has earned. What did it earn? A new name, the gasoline plant. This is a connector because it's a connector. And you have another subject, it, the gopher plant. The verb, you don't have an auxiliary because this is the simple present, is the third person of the singular, so the verb is in, it has an S, it yields, it produces, it gives, and then the complement, a milky latex containing hydrocarbons. Yes, it yields, it produces a milky latex containing hydrocarbons. And then you have the relative pronoun that means this milky latex, this latex thing can be refined. You don't have an auxiliary, but you have the modal verb can, and you have the verb in the base form, be. Well, actually, you know what? This is the passive voice. In the passive voice, the auxiliary is the verb to be, can be, and the verb is in the past participle, refined. So the milky latex cannot do anything. People can refine the milky latex. It receives the action of being refined. The plant or the latex, the thing that is yielded, it doesn't refine anything. It can be refined, it can be transformed or processed into substitutes for crude oil and gasoline. Okay, so this is the sentence. So let's check. This is why I told you multiple times, the structure is super important. To know who's the subject, who's the object, what's the verb, who's doing what, it is the most important thing. It does, I mean, I know that the vocabulary is not particularly easy with this, but the thing that is giving us the hints are not the words. If you go to a dictionary and translate each one of these words, maybe you're gonna have an approximation, but this is only possible when you understand the functions. This is why it is very important to understand the sentences, okay? The first two videos of this channel, the introduction and the basics, they are probably the most important videos, because again, the language is not made by the words. Yes, these words, I mean, with a translator or with a dictionary, I will know them. I can memorize them, all of them. But what makes the sentence in English, I mean, what makes the language is the sentence, not the words. We have subject, auxiliary, verb, and complement. Subject, modal verb, verb, and complement. We know who is the doer and who is the receiver. We have active voice and we have passive voice. And the only way to know who is doing what is by understanding the structure, okay? So it says, some weeds have been renamed gasoline plants because their latex can be made into gasoline. Yeah, that's true. Well, not into gasoline, but into a substitute for a gasoline, a substitute for it. So I'd say that's correct, okay? I think that this is what they mean. It's not gasoline, but it's a substitute for gasoline. So I guess this is the point. Some weeds have been renamed gasoline plants because their latex can be made into gasoline. Substitutes for crude oil and gasoline can come from hydrocarbons. So the substitutes of this, well, it says the latex containing hydrocarbons can be refined into substitute for crude oil and gasoline. So I think yes, yeah. So these substitutes, they are refined from hydrocarbons. So hydrocarbons the substitutes for them, the substitutes for crude oil and gasoline can come from hydrocarbons. It doesn't say that they do come, that always, that every hydrocarbon can be refined into gasoline, but some of them maybe can. Gasoline refined from the gasoline plant will soon replace the need for gasoline from other sources. Hopefully, but I don't think, they don't say anything about this. They don't say anything about the amount. They don't say how much gasoline they are extracting from the gasoline plant. They are not saying how viable it is to replace completely the use of crude oil and just make gasoline from the gasoline plant. They never really speak about that. Okay, they are only speaking about the discovery. Yeah, but they are not speaking about how much or how many or how viable something is. Milk contains hydrocarbons necessary for crude oil and gasoline substitute. This is super false because nobody is speaking about milk. They say milky latex. Milky is not milk. Milky is an adjective and is describing the latex. There is no milk here, okay? The milky latex is just describing the latex. The latex has the consistency of milk. It's so that you can imagine how the product looks, yeah? It can be, this gasoline plant yields a milky latex, or like a latex that looks like milk, but not milk. There is no milk in this sentence. This milk is no milk, is an adjective, not a noun. And this is a noun. So they are changing the use of the word, and therefore it just doesn't make sense. Nobody said this, okay? So one more, the final one. I think this has been This has been long. So, but let's just finish with the last one, so everybody's happy. At least I will be happy. It says, not yet profitable, not yet profitable synthesized. Not yet profitable synthesized. Again, this has a comma after it. So this is not the subject. It's not really a part of a sentence. Not yet profitable, profitably, this is just, this is just telling you how or when or why. Not yet profitable. When something is profitable, is because you can get money from it. Like, I don't know, like selling tires is very profitable. You can get a lot of money from that. Selling, I don't know, funeral services is very profitable. Everybody needs them. Selling medicine is very profitable. Selling other things is not as profitable. If you want to sell, I don't know, like plant leaves, no one really wants to buy them, so it's not profitable. So right now, it's not a very good business. It's not profitable to synthesize. What is synthesizing? To synthesize something is to make it in a laboratory, to make it from zero. Okay, to synthesize is to recreate something in nature, but in a laboratory. So it's not a good business to synthesize. Not yet, not now, maybe in the future, but not now. The subject is morphine. The subject is morphine, which is a drug unsurpassed for controlling pain. This is just a description, is between commas, is just a description of morphine. What is morphine? A drug unsurpassed for controlling pain. Okay, so what happens with morphine? Morphine is being, is being. This is the passive voice. Is still is an adverb. Is being, this is the verb to be in the present continuous, and the real verb is in the past participle. Scrap. I think I did it the other way around. The auxiliary is being, and the verb is in the past participle. So morphine is not scraping anything. Morphine is being scraped. Still, aún, todavía. Up until this moment, morphine is being scraped. What is a scrape? It's being gotten from. It's been yielded. It's been produced from. It's been obtained from. Where do we obtain morphine? From opium poppy heads, as it was at least 5,000 years ago. Opium poppy heads, the poppy is the poppy plant, amapola is just the name of the plant. And the heads, well, the poppy head is a part of the plant. So from opium poppy heads, as it was at least 5,000 years ago. So this is the sentence, okay? Today is not a good business to synthesize morphine, to make it in the laboratory. So, because it is not a good business, morphine is still being scraped from opium heads, opium poppy heads. So we do it, we do the same process as we did 5,000 years ago. 5,000 years ago, people discovered the properties of morphine and how to get it from the plant. And today, we continue to do it the same way because it's not really cost effective to synthesize it. So then, what can we infer? Morphine, a drug from the poppy plant, is no longer profitable to cultivate. This is false. Morphine is not profitable to synthesize. Cultivating the poppy plant is a different thing. I think it's very profitable to cultivate the poppy plant. What is not profitable is to try to synthesize the morphine. We cannot make morphine in a laboratory. It's very expensive, yeah? It says, cocaine, another drug, is not as effective as morphine for stopping pain. I think this is true because it says morphine, a drug unsurpassed for controlling pain. Unsurpassed, it means nothing has passed it. Nothing is better. If nothing is better, cocaine is not better. Nothing is better than morphine, is what it says when it says unsurpassed. So, yes, cocaine is not as effective as morphine. I don't know if cocaine works for pain control, but we know that morphine is unsurpassed. Nothing passes it. C, morphine has been used for pain control for at least 5,000 years. Yeah. At least 5,000 years ago, we started doing this process, and today we continue to do the same process. Why? Because it's very expensive to synthesize. So we do it the same way it was done a long, long time ago. We haven't changed the process. It is possible to make artificial morphine economically. Well, no. I don't know if it is possible to make it, but not economically, because profitable is not yet profitable. Profitable means that it makes financial sense, that it makes money, that it makes sense to do it. Yeah. And right now it is not. So these were 10 exercises. I was thinking about doing these kinds of videos more often. I have other exercises that I can help you with, but I need you to tell me. Again, this is originally made for my students, but I know that some other people are watching, and I think I can help you, and I hope I can help you with this. This is level B1, B2, maybe C1 level English. This is something that you're going to find. If you do this okay, if you understand everything like this and you don't really have any problems checking this, you're going to have a very good score on the TOEFL exam. This is reading comprehension at its peak. Yeah, we're speaking about inferencing. This is something that not even all people can do in their own language. If you speak Spanish and you know some people that cannot infer stuff in Spanish because it requires attention, it requires reading comprehension in general, not just reading comprehension in a foreign language, which is even more difficult. Okay, but I hope that this breaking down and this process is helping you. Maybe you can tell, or now you know a little bit of how this was made. How does it make sense? Again, if you skipped all the other videos and you went straight to this, maybe you have some idea, maybe you have been studying on your own and it makes sense for you in a way. I really hope so, and I really, really appreciate it if it does. If it doesn't, if you got lost with the passive voice, if you got lost with the relative pronouns, if you got lost with stuff like that, please go back. Everything is there in the channel. Everything is explained. So I hope it helps you. I hope it helps you get whatever goal you're trying to achieve, get into whatever school you're trying to get into, get the scholarship you're looking for, get the job that you're looking for, or just like get this personal gratification that people get from understanding and learning a different language. Okay, so I really hope it helps you. And again, if you have any requests, any ideas, any comments, any criticism of this, please leave it in the comments. I will try to keep doing some of this. I hope they are not going to be as long as this one. I think I need to just like measure this a little better. But, well, that is what it is. And thank you very much. Thank you for everything. Thank you for watching, especially if you got all the way to the end. Again, my name is Ricardo Montoya. I work for the University of Guanajuato in Mexico. So if you need any help or anything like that, you can just let me know. I'll try to answer to as much as I can. Okay. So thank you very much, and see you soon.